Okay, so I wanted to talk briefly about last night's mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, which I just found to be one of the most atrocious episodes of this show we've ever been given. There's so much of it just didn't make sense. How did the Saviors get out of the sanctuary? I mean, we know that Daryl put a hole in it, but there were a bunch of zombies down there, and I'm not sure how Negan and his troops were able to get out with no explanation about what Eugene did to draw away the horde. Um, beyond this, how does Negan still have so many men? How is he able to coordinate all these attacks against the Kingdom, the Hilltop, and Alexandria without really in any issues? It's another one of those Mary Sue moments for Negan. Simon's able to put a barricade up and stop Maggie on the road. And then inexplicably, here's another issue. Maggie and the Hilltop people don't fight back ever, not even a little bit. They don't fight back, and they don't jump out of their cars and start shooting as the Saviors drive up. They just sit there meekly and take it. And then Simon kills a no-name extra, like that's somehow justice for what they've done to the Saviors. And then he just lets them go free, scot-free, back to the Hilltop, where they don't go themselves and they don't release their own, 38 prisoners or whatever. So again, none of this makes any sense. From a production standpoint, the lighting it's like they didn't even have lights. It was so badly done, it was hard to see what was going on. The sound was even off. The guy with the megaphone was actually quieter than if he wasn't using a megaphone. You have all these other little plots going on that make no sense. Why does Eugene free the doctor now after he's just helped Negan? This is the worst time he could, grow a spine. Why do Enid and Aaron go to the Oceanside? What's the point of that? And why does she shoot the Oceanside leader instead of firing a warning shot? And how do they get caught by ladies with spears when they have guns? I don't get it. What about the whole thing with the trash people? What was the point of that? The moment things go south and people start shooting at Rick, they run off. So that was a waste of 2 episodes. And by the way, if Rick hadn't gone off there in this stupid attempt to get the trash people who he shouldn't trust to help them, Rick could have been by Carl's side and maybe prevented him getting bitten, which, is another ridiculous change from the comics that makes no sense. And we've lost one of the remaining likable people from the show. And, Glenn's gone and Carl's gone, and it's just absurd. What else am I forgetting here? In my little micro rant. Basically, just every aspect of this episode made no sense. Oh yeah, Ezekiel. He was wounded grievously to the point where he could barely walk, maybe half a day earlier. And now he's running around and saving the day and no limp. There's absolutely no continuity from one episode to the next. I'm pretty sure that in the previous episode, Negan had asked Eugene if he could make him enough bullets to get them out of the sanctuary. Well, within a couple hours, they're out of the sanctuary. There's no way that Eugene was able to go make a bunch of bullets that fast. None of this is explained. There's no consistency or continuity. It's just we're all just supposed to eat it up, whatever they throw at us. And what they're throwing at us lately is not very appetizing. So I'm not going to eat it up. I refuse to accept this as acceptable, an acceptable television show. This is just plain bad at this point, and it just keeps getting worse. And so, my take is that AMC needs to get new talent in here. They need new producers, new writers, and a new showrunner. The current crop of leadership needs to go. There is no fixing this show without a change. And I don't think that the current producers and Scott Gimple and all of them have what it takes anymore. They've done some good work in the past, but I think they've either burnt out or they have just fallen in love with their own mistakes, which is something we see in a lot of TV shows. This sort of doubling down on the things that are ruining the show and listening maybe only to the positive, the fans that love it without ever questioning it. But, we're seeing the ratings slide. We're seeing the reviews reflect more negatively on the show. We're seeing more upset fans. So something's got to give, you know? And I think it's really the only thing that can happen is a change in who is guiding this show in such a bad direction. So that's my rant. Thanks for listening. Peace.